Development. Late today, a former St. Bernard Sheriff's jailer pleaded guilty to his role in letting a female inmate die on his watch, ignoring her urgent pleas for medical help.
Timothy Williams now faces possible life in prison after admitting to violating the civil rights of a 19-year-old new mother, Namali Henry. It's a case investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein has been following since Henry died in 2014.
Timothy Williams was one of 4 St. Bernard deputies charged with allowing a gravely ill new mother to deteriorate and die under their watch. With Williams' surprise guilty plea, he admitted to shocking new details that could be used at trial against the remaining 3 defendants. In this court document, Williams admitted to mocking and ridiculing Henry as she suffered and died.
It hurts and I feel betrayed, and I could only imagine how my sister felt being left there.
Henry was jailed after getting into an altercation as she tried to retrieve her 4-month-old baby from the child's father. Despite facing relatively minor charges, her bail was set at $25,000, far more than similar cases and far more than her family could afford. Henry suffered from a rare blood disorder. The federal indictment accuses Williams and the other deputies of ignoring Henry's pleas for her life-saving medicine. Henry's family spoke exclusively to us about their anguish back in 2016.
And to be watched as her life just faded away.
They knew. They ignored her and they watched her die.
Henry passed away after 10 days in jail. In the court documents, Williams admitted she died naked and face down on the floor of an isolation cell. Mike Pearlstein, Eyewitness News.
With Williams' guilty plea, he could be asked to testify against the remaining defendants. Former deputies Andre Dominic, Deborah Becknell, and Lisa Vaccarella also face possible life in prison if convicted at their trial, which is scheduled for November 5th.